Hey, all right. Welcome back to Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. It's time for another episode of Riffin with Raff. Folks, I'm so delighted to bring back on the show a previous guest who last frequented the channel about a year ago. Can you believe it, folks? This is how time flies. The older you get, the faster it goes by. It was way back in episode 73, Riffin with Raff, featuring the one and only Charles Blatz, Home Sweet Cleveland, where we talked all about his $43,000 fixer-upper, some of the incredible artifacts he discovered, his chicken coop, all sorts of good stuff. Well, hey, you know what? We had to get you back on the show, buddy. Thank you so much for taking time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, it's always great to be on the show. We're riffing with Raff.
Riffing with Raff, and this is a
Yeah,
legitimate show.
yeah,
This is about as legitimate as it gets, you know?
yeah. I was really lucky when I got the letter from your producers
That's
that
right.
you wanted me back, and I'm just honored to be here once again. Thank you.
Well, how this all came to be is that we text each other. We obviously are friends and we keep in touch, and every once in a while we'll periodically just out of the blue send stuff. You send me some pictures of chickens or chicks, I guess as they're called. When does a chicken become when does a chick become a chicken, by the way? Is that like, is
When
there a
it
time?
when it's no longer hot.
Okay.
I don't know. I think around the time the feathers fully grow in, so that it's strong enough to be outside.
So
That's
that is that your definition? That's the Blatz definition. That's right.
Yeah. Well, the Blatz definition is in the standard weights and measures of the world.
It's the
So we'll
operative
just go with
language.
that. Yeah, it's in the dictionary.
But before we talk too much about the chickens, let's just dial back. Take a step back. You've been in this house now for a little bit longer. You were doing some remodeling. You were finding all sorts of
Yep.
there was all sorts of like ghost stories and artifacts coming. So like, give us some updates on the house. How's life in the outside of Cleveland?
Yeah, well, life's good. The house has been great. I've been doing all sorts of exciting updates, like ripping out sewer pipes and putting up walls and putting in new bathrooms and
Now, you're not
sanding
trained in
floors.
this? Are you just like DIY, like Googling, like you're
I
looking on
just I
YouTube and
just
stuff?
riff like Raff and it all comes together. It's just, it's the magic of Raffinity. Yeah, that's just YouTube, man. It's all on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube.
What's been the most like daunting or challenging? I have a couple questions about your renovations before we get to the
Yeah.
chickens. On the renovation front. So, when you tell me, like, think about the most daunting, challenging one that turned out to be not too hard when she actually just like got into it versus the one you thought was going to be really easy and then turned out to be a real bear.
I'll start with the one that I thought that was going to be easy, was sanding all of the hardwood floors because it's so tedious.
Oh, wow.
I saw a video online. I mean, I got a few of the rooms done, but this guy snaps his fingers the first time and finishes the floor, but then he snaps it the second time. He's like, "Come on, work! Like, make the floor." It's just so time consuming, and
Charles, dude, we should get AI sanders. Like the carpet, dude.
yeah,
Literally,
a Roomba.
yes, a Roomba
A
that sands
Roomba
the
with
floor.
sander.
Does that
Yeah, I
exist?
know.
Does that exist
It
yet or
has
not?
to, it must exist by, what I mean, when I say must, like we need to bring this to light because, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a messy job. I mean, I think I'm still whacking the dust out of my couch cushions from just sanding. And, you're breathing in 100-year-old dust. So, you always want to wear your PPE, your politics, philosophy, and economics gear when you're doing this. And but and then I would say, yeah, fixing the one of those sewer pipes. That was cutting it out with a sawzall and putting in PVC because this all uses the old steel pipes. But that was one thing I wanted to do for the upstairs, and that was something I just took a day off. I basically put in a day at work and got in there with a sawzall blade about this long and just for like hours and finally got it done. And once it was cut out, it was an easy switch over. And yeah, now that's just one less thing to worry about. But it's been very rewarding. And thankfully, the important thing for me is the foundation's good. The roof's good. We just had a rainy season, no leaks upstairs. So I just count my blessings. And, I'm just grateful that in addition to that, I would say the biggest update has just been attacking the mortgage. I'm at the 50% mark. So I'm,
What?
halfway through the
You've only owned this
marathon.
thing for like a couple years, right?
Yeah, I got it in November of 2024, so it's been about maybe about a year and a half now. So
And you're
that's
halfway
honestly,
down the paint. You're really you're paying out you're really trying to knock this baby out, huh?
I'm paying out the wazoo because, it started out, there's a thing that they don't tell you about, which is the amortization schedule. And
Yeah.
I started to really do the math, and I was like, you know what? If I just keep doing the minimum payments, man, the bank's going to take all my money. So I decided to really attack it, attack, attack, attack. And that really now basically I did the math, and the amount of interest I'm paying is going to be a lot lower. It's a lot less depressing when you actually see the principal go down.
Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah.
big thing. Once it's done, though, I'm going to really put the pedal to the metal with renovations. But happy to be done with that so far.
So now how about the tax implications? One thing that I discovered when I first bought a house
Yep.
like 15 years ago, which I was very hesitant to do. It seems like an extraordinary amount of money, a huge commitment, all the reasons why you might be scared or skeptical. But then the tax came, and I was like, oh my gosh, the tax benefits for the deduction of interest is extraordinary. It's such a strange thing, and it's like, wow, how did they do this? It really does incentivize people to purchase homes. Did you see some benefits from that last tax year where you like, whoa, this is fat, or did it hit you or not? I just don't
I
know.
didn't itemize. I should have itemized, but I'm kind of dumb, so I just
It's
went
okay.
without the itemized. I was just happy to bring down the principal. But
Listen,
next
man,
year, I
yeah.
will definitely itemize, and I'm sure I'll see the benefits. To me, I was just focusing on, I actually have one thing that helped me a lot is I printed out a graph of my progress, and also my mortgage app that I use on my phone will
Yeah.
map out how many years till payoff, and it's very motivating. I printed out and I would start charting, like plotting my future, how much longer do I have? And doing that month by month, putting in 1,000 in, 500 in, that really was the motivating factor. So next year, I'll definitely look at the tax implications, but yeah, that's a good reminder,
It's
actually. I,
you can I don't know what it means specifically. I have such a
I hate
conf
taxes so much
I,
that I just don't even think about
I
it. To
don't
me, taxation's theft. That's where it ends for me. It's theft.
Well, this is
BS.
the point is if you use these deductions, you can get some of that theft reduced because you don't get taxed on the interest payments that you make. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting phenomenon. You should
Mm-hmm.
definitely look into it, especially if you're accelerating your payments. But anyway, congratulations. Very
Yeah.
exciting stuff. And
Yeah.
we're gonna come back to the Roomba sander
Yeah.
concept in a minute. But I want to move
Yeah.
on. I want to move on to the chicks because this is really fascinating. Last time
Mm-hmm.
you were by the way, you have a dog too still, hopefully.
Yeah, actually I have two dogs now. So I've got
They
my
multiplied.
dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
Gizmo,
got
you fed him after midnight or something, or just spilled water on it and it like popped out, right?
basically, yeah. I mean, yeah, I went to the shelter because I decided, with this new house, I wanted to have a big guard dog. So I got a dog like the one from Turner and Hooch. So his name's Milo. He's
Okay.
really cute. And yeah, he's guarding my house when I go to work. And then I've still got Ruby. She's really good at taking care of any woodchucks that trespass on the property. So they're a really good dynamic duo. I pity any criminal who tries to break into my home because it's going to be met with two vicious dogs who love me. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's good to
two
have that little
dogs and
protection. I like that.
yeah, and to support your local animal shelter, Euclid Shelter. This dog was actually in the police blotter. Someone chained the poor guy to a fence and just left him there with a sign that says, "We don't want him back." So I was so happy. In fact, he had been at the shelter for 4 months and he was pretty underweight when I got him. So I'm sure they're only feeding this mastiff, like a cup of food a day. So, a year later, he's looking great. And
What's his name?
his name is Milo.
Milo, sweet. And the other dog is what's her name? His
Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah, both of which are sort of rescues. And that's half the fun of rescuing a dog is, you watch their progress as they become, more acclimated to you and you really see how grateful they are to be with you. So I love it.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's a great story. And Euclid Shelter. We're going to drop a link to that in the show notes. And if you live in the Cleveland area, I hope you'll get out to check them out.
Yeah.
Um, if you have a picture, I think it'd be fascinating to see, not the dog itself. I mean, like
Hmm.
the initial picture where you said someone left it chained to a pole. We don't want him back or something. That'd be
Hmm.
really a moving image to have, like
Yeah.
a then and now type, comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I actually discovered the picture at one of the local shelters, or actually, no, on their Instagram page.
Wow.
And yeah, it was the Euclid police, basically. They had discovered him. And so it's just a picture of them feeding him a little bit of water. Um,
Of course, because the setting of my camera doesn't work very well, but you're gonna have to text that to me. I'm gonna put it on the show.
well, just
So
imagine he
it's all blurry. It's okay. This is the nature of the technology,
oh, here you go.
There we go.
Okay, so this is him when he first got here. As you can
Wow.
see, he's pretty skinny.
Yeah.
And then this is him a year later. It doesn't he look so happy?
Oh, you got to send me that, dude. You already made that. Nice
Yeah.
job. Nice job.
Yeah. So they you know, they're really great companions and it's I was a little hesitant about doing a rescue, but it's I'm convinced it's definitely worth it. As long as the dog's not crazy, it's worth it.
Hey, man.
So,
Yeah, hey, as long as you don't break down and get one of those lame stickers on the car, it goes, "Who rescued who?" Have you seen that yet?
no, but I hate anybody who screw those people.
Okay.
Too stupid. Not my style. No, I'm kidding. No, that's great. Yeah, he
Who
certainly
rescued who?
well, he
Did they
protects.
rescued you? The idea is like, oh, you were really in a dark place, Charles. You need the dog has rescued you from some type of terrible life you would have had otherwise, I guess. No, I think
Well,
you rescued the dog, my friend. You're the
well, it
human.
all comes back to economics of the seen and the unseen, as Donald Boudreaux would say, is that the unseen is that he probably warded off a lot of burglars
There you
by just
go.
going "Row, row, row,
So
row."
maybe he rescued. Yeah, you're right. You're
He
right.
probably saved my life a few
A
times.
preemptive attack. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the other animals that are on your property. And
Hmm.
apparently this has just grown immensely since last we chatted.
Yeah.
You have a chicken coop in your backyard.
I have a chicken coop in my backyard, and then I'm also raising little chickies. In fact,
No,
these
wait, they're in
guys,
the, are you in your house right now? You're
I'm in the
inside.
basement right now.
Okay, you're in the basement.
Um, yeah. So anyway,
Nice.
this is a Transylvanian naked neck chicken that I successfully bred. Uh, so as you can see, he has a naked neck.
Fascinating. So when you meant you breed them, what came first, the chicken or the egg? How does that work?
The rooster came first. So I got a bunch of rare eggs on eBay, and I one of them was this weird looking rooster chicken that just looks like, what the heck is wrong with this chicken? He must be deformed, and I did some research because he actually looked really fascinating. He had this like gray silver plumage with gold streaks, and it turns out that in Transylvania back in the day, they bred this special chicken that was very hardy and could handle it. Basically, more of the protein it ate would go to meat and egg production, and at the same time is really cold hardy and resilient. So I decided to pair my rooster I named Cletus with my biggest hen who lays jumbo eggs. So the question is, how do you turn this into this?
Yes, that's a great question. I would not even know where to begin.
Sex. That's where it
Okay.
begins. I'm just kidding.
The birds and the bees and the chickens and the roosters. Okay.
The
Okay.
chickens and the eggs. That's how it begins. So yeah, Cletus bred Cleavon. So this is Cleavon. Isn't he
Okay.
nice? Anyway,
He will be Cleavon. You know what I'm talking about? Like little oh, that's cool. Cleavon. Okay, so wait a second.
I'm just gonna put this guy back so he stays warm.
Yeah, okay. I have so many questions. First of all, if we back up last year, you were just cracking the regular chickens, right? Like you were like just kind
Yep.
of you still have that going on outside or no?
Oh yeah, I have so many eggs that I've come up with all sorts of things. Like for Christmas, I made amazing eggnog, more eggnog than
You're
ever.
giving everyone gifts of eggs.
Yeah, actually this my buddy Colin stopped over and I tried to pawn off 2 dozen eggs on him. I was like, "Here, take these." And I'm actually selling them at work to offset the feed costs, so $5 a dozen at work. I always give him 13, baker's dozen. But people love them. They're multicolored. They're all sorts of, Easter egg colors like green and brown and,
What?
tan. A lot of I purchased only rare chickens, and so they produce a really nice color, and people love that. They open the box, and it's just this really nice, surprise as opposed to some boring, Eggland's Best carton. And
And
I
they're
also
free range. Are
worked.
these guys free range? Where they
Yeah,
cost them?
yeah, they're free range. They give, and I feed them, great organic food and lots of scraps and that sort of thing. So they live a nice life, and I give them lots of space, and they give me lots of eggs. Eggs are higher in protein, so I've come up with all sorts of high protein recipes, and it's fantastic.
So how many eggs would you get for one chicken, like a week or so, a month? Or how often do they lay eggs? I don't even know what I'm
Some
talking
lay
about.
one, some lay one a day, some lay two a day.
A
Some
day?
some lay one every day and a half. So on average, I get between 9 and 12 eggs a day. So
Dude,
it,
that's like
it's a lot of food.
how do you even maintain that? How long do they last? Like what's
Well,
their shelf
there's a
life?
lot of ways to preserve them. There's actually the Amish do what's called water glassing, where they'll put the eggs in a lime diluted water solution, and the eggs will stay submerged like the movie Alien, so that they can hatch, years from now and become Godzilla. But basically, the Amish do that so that they can preserve the eggs for up to a year in a water submerged jar. So in the meantime, I've been selling them every week, and doing a lot of, like, I've been doing the 12 egg pancake, where I'll do like 1 cup of flour mixed with 12 eggs and a dash of water and some baking powder. And it's basically becomes this peasant loaf that can be consumed, and it's like 86 grams of protein. So I think it's great, especially with the way the food is these days. You don't know what's coming in, what the chickens are eating at the store, if they're getting pumped with hormones or anything like this. And, it's just a really great way to cut expenses too. You just have this like protein accessible bread. Like if I ever as long as I keep feeding them food, I mean, it saves me a ton of money on groceries, and I think it's a lot healthier than junk food like pizza. I'd be eating pizza rolls
Where do
or
you
whatever.
supply your where do you get your grain? Where do you get
I got
that?
a Honestly, I order a lot of it from Walmart and Tractor Supply, and then I also supplement it with sort of bird seed and corn and other. So I have the layer feed, but then I also give them snacks. So that includes like mealworms, other nice snacks to keep them really boosted.
And how
And
what's the lifespan of a chicken?
I think they say a lifespan of a chicken is around 3 years. It really all The chicken can live a long time, but I think it all comes down to how long they'll lay eggs. So my chickens work the night shift. They're operating in shifts, so we'll see. Some of the roosters, I did get a lot of roosters. Some of them became KFC, but it's all the circle of life, man.
What's your do you do the self are you doing KFC at home? Are you doing like CFC Charles fried chicken or
Chucky's Fried Chicken.
Kentucky's
It's
fried chicken?
Kentucky Fried
Or do you
Chicken.
or like how do you know when they're getting past their prime? I'm just so many questions about this. Do you actually just take care of business yourself, or do I'm just curious how this works, man. I'm just
I
too.
mean, you gotta do what you do, man, if you want a bucket of chicken. But so far I think my chickens will last for another couple of years. I did lose a couple to the freezing cold,
I'm
two
sorry.
roosters. Yeah, it's okay. Dragline and Friedrich, two of my best roosters. I have a picture of Dragline actually. Rest in peace, buddy. But yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory. Dragline was, a very beautiful rooster, and he kept the herd together. But alas, I think that's one thing they don't tell you about farming is that you're gonna have to have a thick skin because you're gonna have good days and bad days, but it's all about the reward in the end and just keeping the faith that by harvest season, the farm will endure and pull through.
Were you
So
ever a farmer or a farm kid or a 4-H kid or a Boy Scout or like how
I
did you get
was.
these skills?
I grew up on a dairy farm, and so it was something actually we always talked about chickens, but my parents didn't like the smell.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, cow crap doesn't taste or smell so good either.
It doesn't
But
taste good either, I'm
it
sure.
don't taste good neither. So,
Cow
but
pies.
yeah, I grew up on really on about 300 acres, and so growing up there, it was when I was at that age though, I thought farming was silly, and I wanted to move to the city. And then I got to the city, and I realized that hey, farming's not so bad. I kind
That's
of
right.
miss it. There are better things in life than what the city can do sometimes. So I kind of fell back in love with it. But growing up, yeah, I always thought farming was I think there are a lot of benefits to it, though. A lot of, you can build wealth as a farmer and, food security. And also just my love of animals has really improved over the years. I mean, at this point, I've got so many, chickens and, uh, pets that really has changed a lot. When I was in the city, I didn't have any pets. When I was in Arlington, in your city, I wasn't able to have dogs or anything. So this has
Okay.
been a really nice treat for me.
That's cool, man. I'm glad to hear it. You're doing great. You're thriving. It sounds like you're just domination. And you said you got back at work. You had a great review at work today, so you're crushing it on the IT game, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, it's every day's, a big, in a manufacturing environment, IT is really critical to getting things done. We need the machines to work, for parts to get out the door, especially, given our high security environment. I can't go into too many details about that, but it's a lot of fun and it's very rewarding.
Hey, dude, sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned manufacturing. You know who I caught up with recently, which
Mm-hmm.
was beautiful? Igor Gembetsky. Remember
Mm-hmm.
Igor?
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's doing great. And the reason I mention it is that Igor is working on AI safety protocol for manufacturing plants to help like get forklifts that are automated that don't run into each other and stuff. It's pretty wild.
Oh,
So
really?
I don't know if you guys have forklifts in your factory there, but you might need to touch base with this guy. I might have to connect the dots here. There could be some business transactions for mutual benefit and free markets and all that good stuff.
Nice.
And safety ultimately is what he's doing. So this is cool, man. I didn't even know that about you. I didn't know you worked in a factory like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got to land the plane here a little bit. Um, before we sign off, I want to bring up a little conversation with ChatGPT. I don't know if you talk to AI a lot, but I just love it. And I'm going to ask about the Sander Roomba invention, if this exists yet, and
Mm-hmm.
if not, how we're going to bring this to market, and it's going to transform the world, and we're going to become incredibly wealthy. So just let me talk to her for a
Nice.
second. Hey, Chatty, how you doing? I'm on the air here with Charles Blatz, my old buddy from back in the day. He's now living outside of Cleveland, and he's doing some home renovations on this extraordinary old fixer-upper outside of Cleveland. And it's like he had some real, not like a struggle, but just a lot of effort to sand his floors, man. The hardwood floors of this old historic home were challenging. And so we were thinking, what could we do to ease that burden on future people who might want to sand the floors? Oh my gosh, it kind of hit us both at the same time. A Roomba that sands the floor. Why doesn't this exist? Does it? I guess the question is, does it exist? My answer must be, yeah, it has to exist, right? If it doesn't exist, why on earth wouldn't it exist? And then how can Charles and I patent this and bring it to market and become extraordinarily rich?
A self-roaming sander like a Roomba with a taste for grit and varnish. While robotic floor sanders are not a standard product in your local hardware aisle, the technical seeds exist. Industrial floor sanders do have automated rideable variants. Think of them as the tank-sized cousins of your idea. Now, miniaturizing one into a smart puck might be a sanding sci-fi epic. But if you and Charles want to write that tale, start by sketching out a prototype. Mechanical engineers and patent attorneys await your call. Sanding bots of the future rise.
Okay, that wasn't very
He sounded
helpful.
pretty sarcastic.
We don't know if we think you're being honest with us or sarcastic.
Wow, that's a great idea.
To be unvarnished. No, a Roomba-style automatic floor sander doesn't actually exist in the consumer market. Sanding is complex. Too much pressure and you gouge the floor, too little and you waste time. But hey, that's a gap in the market, right? If you want to pursue it, your first step is talking to a product design engineer. That's where fantasy could meet hardwood reality.
I think we're onto something here, bro. I think there's a potential. I just as she was describing it there, I did this once in my fraternity
Hmm.
house back in the day. A friend of mine's father came down. He owned a contracting business, and he one summer we had to sand the floors of our fraternity house, and he offered to
Hmm.
do it. He brought the equipment. We just had to dedicate the time. And I got trained up on how to run a giant walk behind sander. So it was like almost like a lawnmower size
Hmm.
contraption, a big trash can size thing. And it was like shaking, dude. All I remember is my hands were numb because it was shaking so much. Like it probably caused all sorts of long-term issues. But
Hmm.
um, so yeah, that's not what you use. Did you do it by hand? Don't tell me, or like a machine, like a
I rented
Black and
something from
Decker?
Home Depot. They're basically something the size of a floor buffer that you can rent. They just run on belts and
That's kind of what I
vacuum.
had, the floor buffer thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Did you
but
polish it up too? Did you polish it with the wax and everything?
yeah, I did. I did the whole kit and caboodle, and it's worth it. You want to make sure it seals in case your dog's tracking water on the floor and that sort of
Sure.
thing. So, all part of
Yeah,
this old house.
I hear you. We had to layer a lot on because we knew there'd be a lot of blood, sweat, tears,
Beer.
beer, alcohol, and other bodily fluids and whatnot
Hmm.
all over the place. So we had to like prevent that from ever getting in too deep into the wood. So that was
Yeah.
a so that was actually the most unpleasant part of the experience wasn't the sanding. It wasn't called varnish. It was like a lacquer. It was like a plastic. It was like a molten plastic crazy sealant that it was so gross and like smelly. We had to put the breathers and the respirators on and everything. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about? Like, hopefully
Yeah, I remember.
did you wear that when you did it? Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not yeah, that you never know what's coming out of those
Those
floors
chemicals,
after a
bro.
hundred
Those are
years.
chemicals. Watch
Yeah.
out. Okay.
Layers and layers.
So what's next? All right. So you're kicking it butt at work. You're on a path to get your mortgage paid off. You have renovations
Hmm.
in effect. You are basically insulated from the thermonuclear, the coming apocalypse. As
Yes.
long you'll be eating a lot of eggs, but hey, the downside is if you're the egg guy, people are going to start coming over to you, and they're going to expect you to bail them out. So
Yeah.
eggs are going to be basically like the next type of currency in the
Yeah, ecto currency.
egg. Okay.
Got it.
How would you so if you get a dozen a day, I
Hmm.
mean, that seems like an extraordinary surplus. Are you unloading these at like what do you call them? Farmers markets and things like that? Or do you need some,
No, they unfortunately they require a lot of paperwork and red tape. Um, you know, if only
all the
there was
health and
some,
wellness, the safety issues and whatnot?
yeah, if only there was some libertarian research center that had warned me about license to work issues. I don't
So
know.
are you actually when you give these, you can't really sell them that much. You have to be careful. You're doing a little black market
Well, I
activity.
think Ohio actually has what's called homesteading laws. So we're
Ooh.
one of the few states where you actually are able to do a certain level of trade without the government coming and shooting you in the face. So thankfully,
Wow.
that's where I live, not
O
New
H
York.
OHIO's got something going for it. Although
Yeah, yeah.
urban chickens are a thing now. Even they have been for like 10 years or so here in the Arlington area.
Hmm. That's
I
right.
believe they're illegal. I think it's a thing
Yeah.
that you can do.
You can, in fact, I think Washington, he had his own chicken farm. So if Washington can do it, then you can. So, if you want to wear a powder wig and get some wooden teeth, you can do that too in Virginia. So a lot of good options.
Hey, listen, if someone wanted to get into that line of work or just like as a hobby, um,
Hmm.
where would you direct them? Like, what was your first steps down this path? Did you go on YouTube? Did you just go, was it random? Did you find some influencers or did you get some resources? Did you get some from the library? I'm just curious how one gets down that path just to get
That's a good
started.
question. I
Yeah.
think the first thing you could do is find someone who might already be doing it and offer to help. And then the next step would be to research what kind of breed you're looking for and what kind of outcome you're looking for. And just really think about every single chick is a huge investment of time. So you have to I think it's important to build the infrastructure first because, it's penny wise, pound foolish. If you cheap out on, equipment and the chicks aren't going to live as happy of a life, and if you lose a few, that sort of thing, then that's a lot of time and obviously not the best news for you. So I think it's important to, lay the groundwork first so that you can bring life into the world, kind of like raising kids, I guess. And you start there and do your research on what kind of breed you think would be best. Like if you want eggs, then go with white leghorns. If you want meat chickens, then maybe go with Rhode Island Reds or Cornish Cross. And then try and stay away from the genetically modified breeds. Go with a resilient breed that's not going to be prone to mutations or getting sick. So that's my advice. And also, the most important thing is to be patient. I was so eager to finally get eggs, and I finally discovered them weeks late, being laid in my yard. But once they start, then the floodgates open. So just be patient and keep the faith, and everything will work out.
Would you ever consider creating or partnering with me or some other, someone who knows nothing about eggs
Hmm.
or chicken farming? But like, I think we could make an interesting curriculum here between
Hmm.
video and written content, like a how-to kit that someone could
Hmm.
use. Here's how you do this. Like you would go through your own journey. You should have all sorts of content that you're creating here. You could do one-on-one paid consultations.
Hmm.
Charles, this is basically your whole revenue stream for life. I need to come in and consult with you on this, my friend. I think you have something special that
Thanks.
could be packaged and sold in a very compelling way at a really reasonable rate, and you can make
Hmm.
the world a better place, dude. I think this is a really interesting idea. We need to talk about it more. And that,
Yeah, well, maybe we could, get some AI going with it too, and partner with Igor, and we could
that's,
start, detecting little chicken-sized forklifts and make sure they don't get run over by them and things like
I love
that.
you, man. I really do
Yeah.
miss you. You're so awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you. It's always a pleasure catching up with you, Rob. And I really appreciate you highlighting not only the beginning of my journey, but where I am now. It feels like it hasn't even been a year, but it's been a really exciting 365 days. And I can't wait for the next year. And summer's coming too, so I'm really happy about that.
I hope I can connect with you sometime. I know we've talked about this. Cleveland's not as far away as it seems, and I'd like to make
Hmm.
it over just to visit. And I think we should get on the show again and not make it a year until we do that, because I think you're going to have a lot more progress to report in a couple months or 3 months. And
Hmm.
I think that's going to be something I want to keep in touch with and just see you grow in this journey, dude. You're going to pay off your house. Next time I know, see, who the heck knows all these changes you're going to have when you add in cows, when you add in sheep, like
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of, it's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking of sheep next. Because some people, maybe get well, really like lamb. Apparently lamb's tasty. So there's that option. And yeah, all good things to come. And I really like your idea of mentoring people and offering a chicken production package, because there are definitely ways to do that. I've already got ideas as you talk about
all
this.
right, we're
So
gonna get off.
the
We're
ideas
gonna
are
wrap.
flowing.
We're gonna wrap this episode, and then we're gonna talk more about this, folks. This is the start of the idea. We're gonna have a new company. It's all about, it's a course. It's an online asynchronous course on chicken farming, and it's gonna be a documented journey of our Roomba sander line that we're gonna patent and sell. I don't want to make those. I just want to patent it and then sell the patents to Roomba. How's that sound?
Mhm. Thanks, Rob.
We'll
You're a
figure it
good
out.
egg.
Good. It's great to see you, Charles. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.
Peace.
Oh, let me get a quick start. Okay, bye.